Hey up lads and lasses, how's they doing? There's off to Burnley today for something a little special. Well, there's nothing in Burnley that's special as such. It's a nice little town, colourful buses, but it's what's going to Burnley today, which is a little special. Title is giving it away. So yeah, that's what this video is going to be about. We're going to talk about 33882 and why that particular bus is so special to me. Now I'm just walking down my street down to Kirkstall to go get the 508. Hopefully I've got a good picture and it's popped up there. And yeah, I'll see you when I get on that, and then we'll talk more when I get to Halifax. It's 20 past 11 now. This is due at about 12:30, and 82 is on the 592. I think it's something like 1:05 from Halifax, and I should get in about 12:30. So should have time if I need to pick up some lunch or something while I'm there, so I've got something to eat on the journey. Yeah, I'll see you in a few minutes. Hey mate, you alright? Yeah. Cheers. Right, so I've arrived in Halifax. There's a bus station behind me. I have got about 20-25 minutes until she arrives. It's due in at 53, it's 28 past now. Sainsbury's off up the road. That's where I'm going to head to. And a drink as well. Probably get a meal deal. Not as good as Tesco ones, but it'll do, I think. And then yeah, go away for a 592. Right, so I've got this tuna sandwich, full sugar coke, scratch, and cheesy Wales. Yeah, mate. Can I first do a round trip route line?
Yeah.
Cheers, mate. It's the excuse I'm using. Hello, baby girl. There she is. Oh, the debranded her inside. All the stuff's been took off the, all down this side, and all down that one. There's only 2 stickers. Never mind. What's up guys, voiceover Steady here. So as past Steady takes a ride out to Burnley, I'll take over from him and talk about why this bus is so special to me. I even have her BusTimes page as my browser's homepage so that I can see where she is and what she's doing at any given time. Link in the description. Mate 33882. She is an Enviro 400 with an E40D underframe and Cummins ISB6.7 engine and was new as SN14 TVM on the 11th of June 2014 as part of a 60 bus order by UK operator First Bus. These vehicles were based at Glasgow to provide shuttle services for the 2014 Commonwealth Games, which lasted between the 23rd of July and the 3rd of August. Once the games had finished, the vehicles were split into 3 batches. The first 20, numbered 33831 to 50, went to Manchester. The next 22, 33851 to 72, went to Sheffield. And the last 18, 33873 to 90, came to Leeds and lived at Bramley depot. The batch were intended for use on the 49 service which served Bramley, Leeds and Monkswood Gate up near Seacroft and displaced 10-year-old Volvo B7TL Wrightbus Eclipse Geminis. The route only required around 13 vehicles, with the spare vehicles used elsewhere on the network to see how they handled. At the time, I'd been living in Bramley until the 49 was one of my local services. In 2015, some buses seemed to pop up more than others, and I dubbed them as my stalkers, which made for a fun game of trying to go as long as possible without seeing these buses. The depot didn't count, given that's where they live. B7 Geminis 32439 and 32450 were the first to gain that status, shortly followed by B7 Urbans 69335 and 69350, all of which are Bramley based. Not long after, 33882 was hot on my heels and was popping up nearly every day on various routes, including the 49. Various things were going on in my life over the next few years, including losing my mum, having to move out, being made homeless, and even going through a relationship. But 33882 was always around to see me. By 2018 I got settled into a flat in Bramley, where today's adventure begun, and in the weeks and months before moving in, she would take me to or from work in the city centre nearly every day. She was often my alarm clock as her cooling fan was super loud and it echoed through the valley. I-82. On the day of viewing the flat, which was early December 2018, I went for a 49 in Kirkstall, and who was there to take me to my new flat? Of course, at the time she didn't know I was moving, but it didn't take long for her to work it out. 14 then became my local service, and in 2019 she started going on there more often. This was mostly thanks to being replaced by brand new Wright Street decks, which were new for the 49 and 50 services. Occasionally, she would take me to town on my way to work when I worked at Connections buses. On one trip, I'd finished filming the journey, and a bee landed on my leg. It looked quite tired and struggled to fly. I was travelling with my then partner, and she had a bottle of apple juice, which she'd opened and poured a little bit into the lid for the bee to drink. When we got off the bus, we placed the bee into a bunch of flowers for it to rest, and took this photo, which became a canvas print later on. On that day, we nicknamed 82 BVN. On another occasion, there was an incident on Broad Lane, meaning there was a diversion in place by Waterloo Lane, Rainbow Road and Weather Lane. It was only for a short while in which 149 did the diversion before the obstruction was cleared, and of course, that 149 was 33882. I remember leaving my home in my brother's car, and we'd reversed in the car park. I could hear the distinctive sound of an Enviro cooling fan, and sure enough to my disbelief, I turned around and there she was, rolling past. 2020 came around and more street decks had arrived at Bramley. Yay! Which meant the Enviros had started to cascade to Halifax. I wanted to try and find 82 before she left, but often she didn't go out on full duties, if at all. I was told by one of the engineers/drivers that one of the days in January she would be leaving, but he wasn't sure which one. The night before I went to Scotland with Dino and Senior Parkinson, go check that vlog out, I'd arranged to meet my dad on his break at the depot so I could have a little spending money before I went, and I'd asked if 82 was still there. He told me that she'd left earlier in that day and wasn't at Bramley anymore, which made me sad. It took a little time before she re-entered service with Halifax, possibly a couple of weeks, and then of course we got the dreaded announcement by our Prime Minister, and so I didn't go for a ride with her for some time. I did photo her on the 508 when she passed through Kirkstall when one of my driver friends had her. I even got to see the new bus full display for the 508 as capacity was reduced to around 25%. It took until June before we were allowed to make trips on buses, although for necessary reasons. We were allowed support bubbles, which I chose gas to be in mine as I lived by myself. We used to regularly meet on Mondays or Wednesdays depending on Gas's work shifts, and so would meet in Leeds, get our shopping, take some bus photos and go home. Of course while obeying the social distancing rules, quite a stickler for that. One of those Mondays we saw 33882 on BusTimes, which first had recently added on, and saw that she was heading to Leeds for around 11 AM. Of course we took a ride and she and I were reunited once more, which was a very happy moment. We used the bus ride to our advantage and got off at Kirkstall Bridge Shopping Park and did our shopping there instead. There were times where once restrictions were lifted again, I'd be going for a bus from Kirkstall to Leeds, and 82 would surprise me and take me. There were also times where she'd be going about her day and I'd surprise her with a visit, such as the afternoon to Hebden Bridge, in which I planned the journey around the time she was working out of Halifax. Big props to BusTimes. Oh, wait, this looks like the spot where my lock screen photo was taken. And of course today, she's bouncing back and forth between Halifax and Burnley with some Todmorden shorts thrown in for good measures. Perfect opportunity to make this video and why she's such a special bus to me. So first, if you're watching this video, expect a wad of cash coming your way in around 10 years time. But not until I save my other special, JSU. Maybe a video on her too? I'll leave you with some further shots from the ride as I pass you back to camera steady in Halifax as he says goodbye to 82 and catches sister bus 33890 back home. So I'm in Burnley. 20 minutes. having some troubles with the annealing system. It's just started alarming when we lowered down and she won't go back up. She's happy again. Good girl. Thank you very much, buddy. Much appreciated. Chill out. And there we go. Done. And then we're right to Leeds. Hey mate, you alright? Yes. Right, so I've arrived back in Leeds. I've gone to Leeds so I can get something to eat. I'm going to go to Easy Bite and get 14 home. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it's given you some insight as to the history behind TVM and why she's so special, as well as that nice little ride out. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Steady out.